officially live. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday. We outside. It is 10 p.m. here in Kansas City, Missouri. It is 8 p.m. in Sacramento. And I know you stay out in Cali. You're out in the LA area, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Lady Too Much?
I'm in the Victorville area, but yeah, it's still
Okay.
Cali. Cali in the building. It's 8:12 here. 8 p.m.
There we go. There we go. So it's a late edition, but we love it, man. Hey, man, we're all about it. We pop outside when we pop outside. That's the beautiful thing about it. People out there, outsiders tapping in with us. Thank you for opening that door with us tonight. If you are with us for the first time, or even if you're not for the first time, let me give you a quick little reminder. We are the We Outside Livecast. We come out, we bring on individuals who are creatives, artists, visionaries, just doing something in their communities or the world that needs to be spoken about from their point of view. And today's lovely and beautiful queen is no different. We got Lady Too Much outside with us today. Lady Too Much is a hip hop artist, originally from the LA area, sitting out here in Victorville right now at 8:13 p.m. out west. We got Dooney, of course, aka John Winham, for y'all that don't know, our brand new co-host. Almost first week of duty here, and we're just gonna have some authentic conversation. Lady Too Much has been an artist for a hot minute here, originally out of LA area, like I said. Big inspiration from lyricists such as Lil Weezy. Lil Weezy's actually going to be here. I think my wife was just telling me, I think later on this month he's doing a concert at the T-Mobile Center here in Kansas City. But she is, listen, people, for anybody that's tapping in and doesn't really know hip hop, a lot of people, right, stereotypes, right? People see hip hop artists and they don't think necessarily that we are intelligent people. But let me tell you something that y'all might not know about this young lady right here. She's got not one, but she's got 2 college degrees.
Period.
She's in the business world. She's doing her music thing, and man, we are going to talk about all of that. So that's a little tidbit that I'm letting y'all in now, because we got a show that we got to run here. We're going to talk about it. But with that said, our special guest of the day, Lady Too Much. Let the people know outside with us here tonight who you are and what you are about, and we're just going to go from there.
What's the deal, y'all? Y'all already know, Lady Too Much in the building. How y'all doing out there? First and foremost, y'all know I like to check on my people, make sure y'all good. You feel me? Yeah, in the building, and we outside. We outside live. You feel me? So yeah, like you said, 2 degrees. I'm in the business world. I'm doing as much as I can in the business world while maintaining the music. You feel me? Because I'm going hard with the music too. You feel me? So yeah, I'm all over the place in a good way.
I love it. I love it. Dooney, let me ask you real quick before we really kick off this conversation. When you hear something like that, 2 degrees, man, 2 degrees. Because I only got one. Truth be told, I only got one, man. Like I'm in the business world like you are. I'm in the artistry world like you are, but I only got 1 degree, man. Dooney, what's that mean to you, bro?
I mean, all stereotypes are shattered, bro. They may stereotype us, but we not stereotyped, right?
Period.
She's doing what a queen is supposed to do, right? And I give you honor for staying on your path and accomplishing that, because it takes some doing, right? It takes some sacrificing as well. So let's not let that be missed. But for those that, naysayers, she's saying it all.
Period. Move in silence. Let the success speak. You feel me?
True. That's like, honestly, let's start the conversation right here, because a lot of people out here are known in this world as what we call haters. They be sipping on that haterade a little bit, right? And I'm sure you're no exception. I know Dooney's no exception. I know I'm no exception to that. And as we grow in life, right, we elevate, our minds develop, as we were talking with our brother, your brother as well, Cedric Carter, 1700 on Sunday.
Hey, shout out to Cedric Carter, 1700. Feel me?
And there's definitely a point in life, right, where our minds maybe have not elevated to the point yet where we're going to talk about what we're talking about kicking out this conversation. But we maybe feel a certain kind of way, right? And we do. We want to just tell them straight up, fuck you, right? Fuck you. But that's sometimes
Bitch.
as people can say, can cause controversy, right? And we don't necessarily want controversy. Like sometimes we want to tell people, what it is. And
Sticking where the
I've come to
sun
know,
don't shine.
man, for real. And I think at least on some level, because again, let's be real, we're outside. We keep it real when we're outside. That's what it is when you open that door. There's some people that you have to just sometimes, just like Pac did back in the day, you just got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
But for
Fair.
people that have not earned that, I have found in my elevation in the last couple of years that the best way that you can do that is what you just said, lady, too much, and that's telling them fuck you without telling them fuck you.
Period.
You go get your 2 degrees. You go do your business world thing. You go be an artist on top of that. You continue to be a light that shines over that darkness that's trying to creep into your world, right? And I've come to
Period.
learn that is the best form of a fuck you. You just stay in your lane. You keep doing because they're going to be left behind at the end of the day, and they're going to be watching up while you're just elevating, right? So let's start there. Talk about a time, and you don't have to talk about a specific scenario or person. You can if you want to. This is your show. This is your show, so you can say or not say whatever you want when we're talking tonight. But talk about a time or generality where someone may be warranted literally telling them fuck you, but you just let the fuck you be. Yo, man, watch what I'm gonna do out here. Let's start there tonight if we can.
It's a lot. Okay, I got a lot of them. I got a lot of them. Okay, I got people that I considered was like real cool with, to the point where they call, I'm coming. You feel me? And I noticed, I realized it wasn't the same way. It wasn't reciprocated because I'm constantly hitting them up, checking on them. It's not. I don't get that in return. So, with that being said, I'm like, okay, let me see if I stop doing all that. Sure enough, it's like there ain't even no friendship no more. We're like we ain't cool type thing, even though ain't no hard feelings, but I just
Mm-hmm.
realized what it was. So with that being said, it wasn't nothing left to say other than let me go, let me keep going where I'm going. And sure enough, I'm rising up here. So now, like you said, they looking up, like now they, low-key hitting me up here and there, checking in and stuff like that. Now all of a sudden,
Hmm. Wow. Let
Crickets.
me ask you a question. Let
Crickets.
me
yeah,
ask you a question.
yeah.
Um, Lady Too Much. How important do you think it is for you um to be that model as you're being to other young sisters?
It's highly
How
important.
important that?
It's highly important. That is like at the top of the list. Cause me as a person, I love to help others. I love to see them thrive. I love to if I could be a part of your success, that makes me smile. You feel me?
Mm.
So for me to be that to somebody else and be an inspiration, like I feel like I'm doing my job, the job that God put me here for. You feel me? Cause I'm here to serve others. You know.
That's right. That's right.
Well
There's
said.
only one other point I wanted to make and point out. Like in our community, in the places we come from, it's rare to have a brother and sister, right? Still side by side the way you and your brother are, right? What was
Period.
it that forged that relationship between you two that kept y'all close like that? To where y'all like be willing to share the stage together. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to be honest, back then, like years ago, I wasn't close with none of my siblings. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was never even in the household with my family. I always was out and about, living my own life in my own world. And it made me feel like I missed a lot and that was going on with my family members. It made me, now I realize like I wasn't there. I wasn't there, and I feel some type of way about it. So now I really want to be there for those, that I care about and stuff. So when I get a chance, I'm like, man, bro, tap in. Like this person, let me introduce you to this person. Let's work with this person. And things like that, because it's only up from here for all of us. Like if when I make it,
Right.
you make it, you get a bag, you get a bag, you get a bag. You feel me? Like we all gonna be on. You
Definitely.
feel me?
Right, right, right. Wow. Love
I,
that. Thank you
I
for
think that's a
those.
good. I think that's a good question that you asked there, Dooney, and lady, you asked my follow up question to that was like, how does it make you feel when you do that? And you went over you went Oprah Winfrey on us, so I appreciate that. I appreciate that because that's a beautiful thing, and I very much subscribe to that too, right? Like I literally, anytime I meet somebody for the first time, whether in person or through social media, as a lot of meetings happen these days, especially if somebody that's how Dooney and I connected, right? So sometimes that's just the way it's got to be. Like I tell people, I want three things in life. I want to take care of my family. I want to be an asset to others, and I want to make music. That's it. In
Period.
that order, too. In that order. And I love being a part of somebody's journey, where even if it's a small part, right? I'm not looking for anything out of it. I just love seeing other human beings win because
Yeah.
there is this thing called karma out there. People, whether you want to believe in that or not, and you can block your own blessings if you're out here just hating on
Facts.
somebody.
Yeah. Secret jealousy, envy, all of that. Yeah, you block your own blessings. And people don't realize that. Like you pray, y'all pray on my downfall while God is still lifting me up. You feel me?
Right, right.
And it's
Wasting
and it's
energy.
it is, and it's crazy because sometimes, tell me if I'm lying here. Sometimes it is some of the closest people to you or somebody that you have done or tried to do so much
Much
for.
for, so much for. Yes, that's the crazy part about it. That's the crazy part. You can't help everybody nowadays. That's what sucks. You feel me? It does suck, but at the same time, like, let it be a lesson learned, because you got to protect yourself too. Protect yourself, okay?
Well, no,
It's so
I have a saying to say like sometimes success meaning leaving old friends and old things behind.
That's crazy
Can't
because
tell
people
everybody
always yelling
can't go.
out, no new friends, no new friends. Nah, sometimes new friends are okay, because if the old ones ain't trying to get there with you and y'all rise together, then what y'all doing for real?
You met them old friends at a point you were in your life. And you're gonna
Yes,
meet new friends at the
perfect.
point where you are now in your life. So you
Period.
gotta make room for the new, right? Or you stay
Period.
back there.
Well said. I like that one.
it's so true. And Dooney, you and I were actually talking about that yesterday when we were on the phone, right? Because I literally had told you
Mhm.
yesterday we were talking on this. I was like, "Yo, man, there was a point where lady, just so you know, there's not one blood related uh family member that I speak to anymore. I don't
Mhm.
because it. I came from, and this is both sides of my family, my mother's and my father's. It's filled with a family of addicts, narcissists, selfish people who just they suck your energy away. And like at some point, I had to cut that off, and that was with like dozens of friends. Along the way that I met in life as well, and I told Junie, I was like, I just like incubated myself, where I was like, man, I don't want to fuck with nobody, man. But it getting rid of those people and going through that process allowed me the ability to start to meet people such as Dooney, or the ability to get connected to people like you, where we can grow that relationship, right? And I think a lot of people get it twisted too. Like a relationship doesn't necessarily mean that you got to be talking to them on an everyday basis or a
Yeah.
daily basis. It's that mutual respect, right? Like I have an 11-year-old daughter with wifey P, and I always, we always simply let her know that, like, listen, if there's not a value of any relationship to me personally, and I don't care who it is, that could include my wife. God forbid, I hope that never is going to happen. But as long as you're communicating, then you don't get to that point, right? Like, because you could only control so much, anyways. But I don't care if it's a former boss or a loved one, a friend that I've been down with since I was 5 years old. Like if I'm pouring into a relationship all this value of me, this finite energy and time that I have on this earth, and you're not even giving a little bit of that back,
Facts.
what am I doing? Like, what am I
Facts.
doing? Because then if I'm doing that, I can't make those connections like I've had with Dooney or you or anybody else along the way that I've had the blessing since I've kind of go or kind of like structured my new vetting system, if you
Right.
will. right? You got to make that time. So what are, I'm curious, what are both of your thoughts on that?
I agree. And it's crazy because I did an interview with someone and I was explaining to them, like, they said that they don't believe that birds that what that saying go?
Birds of a feather,
Well, birds of a
birds
feather
of a feather
flock
flock
together.
together. Yeah.
And I said, to some degree, I do believe it, because when you hanging around people who are nothing but negative or ain't got nothing going on, things like that, it's gonna suck you into it. It's gonna be hard for you to have a conversation with them about growing or investing, or yeah, I mean, looking to the future or being optimistic, because that's not where their mind is, you know?
Hmm.
So to be around people like that every single day, there, I don't see you still being motivated and still trying to rise to the top around these type of people. You may have to separate yourself. You can still love them from a distance, but you may just have to separate yourself so that you can grow, and like you said, you can meet those people that are where you're trying to go and where you're trying to get.
Junie, what are your
That's
thoughts
right.
on that, bro?
I think she clarified it for me. I just say, you got to love you,
Yeah,
right?
for real.
The first care is self care, and you got to take care of you. Everything else come after that.
Period.
I'm just
No,
saying.
it's so true, because I think on that as well. I think some people who have not experienced that self care, or they sometimes define elevation in a tangible type of way, right? Like elevation's got to come with either a bigger amount of fans or money or whatever it is, and those things are nice. Don't get me wrong, but people, I think, fail to realize sometimes that elevation, to what you were talking about, Dooney, it's elevation through that self care, right? You got to pour
Mm-hmm.
into yourself, because if you don't got, the good old saying, right? You got to take care of number one. Well, what if I got all this family around me? I've got a wife, I got a daughter. Yes, that's true. Those are my 1A. And what I mean by that, because if I'm not the number one that I need to be for myself, I know I cannot be the number one
For
that my
somebody.
wife and my daughter or anybody else
Right.
that I
Mhm.
have some type of relationship needs to be with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so, yeah, just a piece of advice there, people. There's many, if you look up a dictionary, if you ever looked in the dictionary, there's more than one definition for pretty much any damn word in the dictionary. So
And it
makes so make sure you know exactly what it is that you're feeling when we talk about that word elevation, because I think that's super important, right? So kind
and
of just
self-care too. Self-care, people. That's part of mental health. You don't take
yes.
care of yourself. You stressed out all the time. Give yourself some good energy, not just the bad energy. Feed into
Hmm.
yourself, pour into yourself, like they said, pour into yourself. That's something I had to learn the hard way, but pour into yourself. It's going to change your life and
Mm.
everybody else is around you. You can't take care of nobody unless you're taking care of yourself, for real.
No, and with you being such a busy individual, Lady Too Much, being in the business world, being an artist yourself, you stay busy. So I think it's important that we carve that time out, right? I know what mine
Yeah.
is. I that what so what's maybe like kind of one go to where you're just like, yo, if you just kind of feel it's in general like once a week or whatever, that you're like, yo, I'm just gonna go get this me time in, or if you're kind of feeling like you need to recharge or give that self-care to yourself, what's one kind of go-to for yourself that you try to allow yourself in that self-care process to make sure you're recharging your mind, your body, your spirit, because it's everything that is involved in that part of the process for us as humans.
Okay, y'all. I gotta get this out the way. I like to eat, okay? I like to eat. I know I do. I do. Yeah.
Oh, I do too. Yep. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it,
But
because I know Dooney
I
does too.
but I work out. I like to work out real good. I like to work out really good, at least for like a good hour, like a couple minute breaks in between and get to it. Can't nobody call me around that time. If they do, I'm not answering. I got to get it done. You feel me? So after my workout, I do a good stretch, real just good breathing meditation, and then I have my time with my Lord. Like, that's when I really feel him like in the air. Recharge that spirit for real.
What's up, Dooney? What do you normally do? What do you normally do if there's like a specific go-to for you, or just kind of like something that you'd look to do to just kind of pour that self-care into yourself?
Having the queen that I have in my life, bro. As you know, you have the
Man,
pleasure of meeting her, bro. I got a queen that I can go to and talk to about anything, bro. You know what I mean? And then if I don't feel like talking, I got the garden and I got God, bro.
amen.
I ain't
Yes,
never
and
alone, bro. Right? So
that's
we
nature at
always
its
got,
finest,
man.
right?
No matter who I talk to.
Amen.
Yeah, for
Always
sure.
got God. Always.
No, and I'm not too
All
far
the
off
time.
from what you're talking about there, Dooney, because very much what you said, and for me, it's I look forward every week to getting outside and being in that nature, right? Like you've been here, Dooney. You've been at our house. We got a
Mm-hmm.
decent sized yard, right? We got a couple dogs, so like I
Mm-hmm.
literally look forward every single week to going outside, throwing in my earbuds, throwing on some fucking, the Bob Marley station on Pandora and cleaning up some dog shit and then cutting my lawn. Because I
Mm-hmm.
know every week that is my place of solace. Like if things have been caught up in my head for that week, from when I did it last, or 8 days, or whatever, depending how much it rains here in Kansas City, Missouri, at least in the time that I've lived here, it might be a little less time than that. But I know that's my solace. Like I can work out. I've got I got Bob going on in my ear, and I'm at peace, bro. I'm outside. I'm in nature. And I'm also taking care of my household, right? I'm doing what a man does, or a woman, anybody that takes care of their household. Because again, it doesn't matter who you are. Somebody's got to do it, right? And man, that's just a peaceful place. So the reason I say that, and the reason I ask, what the go-to is for both of you, is because everybody's go-to is different. It's really
Yeah.
just a matter of what you
Who you
find as an
are. What you
individual,
want.
right? That brings you that peace or solace that you need for that self-care.
So you said you like to go outside and enjoy the nature.
Yes, anytime I get
Okay.
outside, get that fresh
Do
air.
you
Yes,
believe
ma'am.
in touching grass?
Yeah, with my bare feet. Yep, I believe in that
So
energy of
I believe.
connecting myself to
Being
the ground that
grounded.
way. Ground.
It's called grounding.
Yes.
Taking that
That's
energy
what we
in
were
from
meant to.
earth.
That's what we were meant to be doing. We're meant to be wearing shoes. They're stopping our connection with the
Got
vibrations and the frequencies for that come from the earth, right?
y'all hear
Stopping
that,
that
y'all? Take
connection.
y'all shoes off and touch some grass
Man, look,
Even if you just do
every
it,
now and then. Not all the time, because
every-
some of y'all already got bunions and stuff.
everybody already know it's true because when you get it somewhere, you get home, you pull them shoes off, you exhale. So that means you ain't supposed to
Yeah.
have them on.
it's such a true story, though.
Yeah.
Such a true story. Um, let's tap in real quick because I'm curious about your business world. 2 degrees. What are your 2 degrees in, Queen?
I got 1 degree in business, and then I also have my other degree in child development. Because I have my daycare. I have my daycare, so yes, just
How,
leveling up every chance I get with it. Finding opportunities to develop and grow.
and that's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about. How long you been running your daycare? I think you had said over there.
Almost 4 years.
What's that experience been like for you? And I ask because as an entrepreneur myself, who either runs, owns, or consults in a couple different businesses, it's not easy, man. So I want to first say, before you answer that thought there, congratulations, because a lot of people don't make it past year 2, and that in and of itself, as a business, that's a success. And I don't care if you made a dime, if you've been able to sustain life and keep a roof over your head and food on your
That's 2
table,
years.
and you made
You're a
it to the
success.
2-year mark, yo, big salute. And you've already doubled that. So that tells me that you're doing what you need to do, and you have a very long business journey with that specifically ahead of you. So salute to you on that. But what do you feel has
Thank
led to your
you.
success of the 4 years that you've already got under your belt?
People want security when it comes to their kids. They want to know that they're safe, that they're going to be treated well, no different from other children or anybody else. They want to know that you got them. And me, I'm still a kid at heart. Like, I like to do kid stuff. So we be whatever they doing, I'm doing. Like, I'm trying to ride their tricycle at this point because you had a long turn on here, and I feel like I might need a turn at this point. Like, I really get out there with the kids and do like whatever it is they want to do. We play soccer, uh, swimming, riding the skateboards and stuff. I don't really ride the skateboards. I'm a little scared. My bones ain't all up to par and stuff like that no more. But yeah, we take our walks, go to the park. I take them out to like amusement parks and stuff. Um, Things like that. You just stay in tune with the kids and really, really just be there for them. They be telling me their little stories and stuff. I be like, "What? Is that right, girl? You just playing, right?"
So true, and I love that you're smiling right there, Dooney, because you said something when you had your last guest spot on the We Outside live cast with sis. You literally said it, I think, almost verbatim like this: there is a little boy or a little girl that still lives in all of us. And Lady Too Much just reminded me of that part of your conversation and sis's conversation. But I also say this: that's if you let that little child and you still tap into that little
Yes,
child,
that's
because
if
you
you
got to.
let it out. Let it come out. You feel me? Just let it do its thing, long as it ain't harming nobody or you know anything like that. Then let it do its thing, boy. We need it. We still need that inner child in us too, because that's how we stay young.
That is the part, man, that allows, yeah, that is the part of human beings that allow us to live. It's a difference
Mm-hmm,
between
Yeah,
existing and
yeah.
living. And when that kid in you dies, so does the soul and the spirit, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Exactly.
it's important to always keep that child tended to first. Tend to that
Yes.
child in you first, right? Don't let it navigate your plane. When we talk about arrested development, right? Um, 65, but really only like 12, right? Emotionally. Um, but yeah, no, I think it's important that you stay tapped into that, man.
That inner you.
Very
Yes.
important because that is what allows her to be successful in what she does. Because that if she did that job, much like Vanessa, if they did it from the adult perspective solely, then their business would not thrive because they could not connect
Mhm.
with the children.
mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It is very true, and you got to have it from that perception, because at the end of the day, you still got to do the adulting, right? But it's like anything else, you have to be on the same wavelength as that individual in
Children.
order to be able
Yes.
to,
Yes.
no different doing before, before we popped on live and before Lady joined us here in the studio, when you were talking about the individual that you took to the barber shop, and you were talking about he likes chess, and you were trying to get a message over to him of, well, who do you
Quick.
ultimately want to be on the man, you have to speak to, it's called mirroring and matching, right, people? Just that's what we're referring to in the psychology world: mirroring and matching who it is that you're talking to. Because think about it from this perspective. All right, anybody that has, and we're clearly very intelligent people, at least I like to think so. For me anyways, I know I'm sitting with two very intelligent people sitting here. But if I was not as intelligent as these individuals, and specifically I'm using the analogy from a standpoint of vocabulary, right? If
Right.
they're talking vocabulary to me on this conversation right now that is way over my head, well, how are we going to continue to have a conversation with me involved, at least? Or how are you going to try to get a certain message to me if I'm not understanding literally the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? So
Exactly.
you got to mirror and match that individual that you're speaking with. You're going to speak to a doctor differently than you might speak to an 18-year-old who's delivering your pizza on a Friday night or something like that. So it's
Now the doctor gonna speak to me differently because I don't understand that terminology. I need you to break it down a little simpler, sir. Like all that. No, I didn't go to school for that. Okay.
fair enough. Are you saying it's more like, Doc, I know my hip bone's connected to my leg bone's connected to my knee bone. Do the hokey pokey. I know all that shit, but go ahead and tell me what's really motherfucking happening here.
So really,
For
that
real.
jargon is to sound important because
Mm,
which is nothing. You can be important, but the important thing is to reach the person that you're trying to speak to. That's what's
Exactly.
important, right? So they call it dumbing down. I don't call it dumbing down. I
Mm.
call it understanding your audience, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
understand who you're speaking to and what your goal is and what your objective is. And that's the level you rise.
yes. So true, because
I'm
that's
no
something that we talk.
professor or nothing, you know. But
Well, it's like we were talking
yes,
about
sir.
in the communication process earlier, Dooney. Like a lot of people don't realize that, with the communication process, typically it's about, the communication breaks down this way. It's 18% of what you say, 27% of how you say it, and then 55% of communication is nonverbal language. Think about that for a second.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what you're speaking to. Man, I didn't know we were going to get into a psychology conversation today, but I'm loving where we're going with this, y'all. Straight up.
That's
So
that college thing. That's that college thing, bro. It's that college thing.
yo, man,
Period.
having the queen here with 2 degrees is just by association right now is making me feel a little smarter. So yeah, we're on that level tonight, y'all. Y'all might need to have your PhDs to be following along with us tonight with Lady Too Much, because that's the level
uh,
that we're on right now. But no,
right,
I think that's well said, by both of you, because you do. How else do you get a message across in general, right? Um,
Period. They do teach
I
you
think
when you go for a job interview as well, like your posture says things as well. People pay attention to your posture and not just the things that you say. So remember that, y'all, when y'all go for them job interviews. Don't be
body
slouching,
language,
talking like
facial.
this and all of that. Cause don't get me wrong, like in the entertainment world, you can be you, but in these corporate worlds, you have to play by their rules, to be honest. You feel me?
very true, very true.
Facial
Talking
affects.
about
Your facial affects
Mm-hmm.
everything. I
Everything.
tell every
you
youngster
can
I meet, they be like, I be like, why y'all looking like that? They're like, why you smile all the time? I said, one, because it feel good, and for two, it gets me in
For
any
real.
place that I'm trying to get into.
Period. Period. Man, I've been smiling more and I've been running into like some good people, like
What?
for
What?
real. Okay.
You meet your kind.
Yes.
it's finding your tribe. That's exactly what that does, and I love that. I love that
Period.
because you control that. Like you control a lot more than you think as an individual. No different than we were talking about. You could be blocking your blessings, like we touched on briefly earlier, but you can attract those blessings as well, if
Period.
you allow yourself to. But again, it's all about that mindset that we talk about all the time, doing when it comes down to it, verbally or non-verbally with your messaging, right? Speaking of messaging, we definitely got to talk a little bit about music. We got to talk at least a little bit about music. We got to get there. So how would you, and I asked your brother on Sunday the same exact thing. How would you kind of like describe the messaging of your music? How would you describe your music if someone's meeting you for the first time, they've never heard, of you as an artist, and as you are? Des- Describe that for the outsiders out here for us tonight.
I hop into different lanes with my music. So I talk about me hustling. I talk about life and some of the things I've been through. I talk about a little bit about these dudes and what they need to come with because yeah, I got my own bag. So what you talking about, what you bringing to the table
Mm.
too.
How you
So I
gonna have that value? Yep.
yes, I hop into different lanes with it because I want people to get all of me and not just part of me. I want them to see all aspects of Lady Too Much. You know, oh yeah, she's a mother, but she's a hard worker. She got her businesses. She does some music. She don't just shake ass and twerk. You feel me? I be out here with my girls and we be turning up too, but that's not all I do. So I want y'all to see all sides of Lady Too Much.
Being well rounded, which is
Period.
dope because that opens yourself to a mass audience, right? It's a message and messages in general that you're able to share with a bunch of different audience members. And even to that point, doesn't necessarily mean that all of your fans are gonna wanna, or let me put it this way, enjoy one song or type of message as the other, but they already know that they have a certain feeling from the messages that they do appreciate and get and vibe with, to the point where they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, she's spitting some real shit one way or the other, and I'm a
But
fan of the messaging, so I'm gonna listen to it, even if it's not necessarily my cup of tea when it comes to music or not." And I think that's important as well, because you see a lot of artists out here, especially these days, right? Like, they just want to talk about all the same shit that
same
other
thing, sound the
people are
same,
talking about,
everything. Like,
and they're afraid to be different.
yeah.
And you just pigeonhole yourself when you, and that's not just with music, right? That's a business. That's you in any type of relationship. If you're looking, if you're looking for some kind of love, one way or the other. And I think it's important that you got to know that you don't have to be a one trick pony. And I appreciate
Mm,
that, of how you describe that in your music in general, because it's important. Because otherwise, if you only have one thing to talk about, well, what if somebody takes that away? Or what if that's not cool anymore to be talking about?
mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do then?
Or what if people get tired of hearing it?
Because people grow, people elevate, people get
Mm,
older,
exactly.
and eventually, and I'm just saying in general, eventually you're going to be a 40 something year old artist spitting the same messages that you were at 25 to a new group of people 25 years old that might not even know who the hell you are. So you're
Mm,
losing your audience.
yeah.
And that's a challenge, especially if as an artist that you're looking for sustainability, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of artists out here that will continue to do this whether they're getting paid or not. But if you want to have sustainability as an artist, well, you got to bring in some kind of cash, even if you're not going to be necessarily, doing, like one of your favorite lyricists, as we talked about earlier, from an inspirational standpoint, Lil Wayne. Even you're not necessarily getting to that level, that doesn't mean that you can't be out here making a bag that can sustain the type of artistry career that you
Yeah.
like to have, right? So let's talk about that a little bit, because again, I mean, you're in the business world, so I'm sure that you have a clarity that you can't just go up and be just an artist. You at least have to, and you don't necessarily have to run the business side of it, directly. A lot of people do, especially independent artists, unless you do have a team around you. And I know you got a team around you. But what do you feel the keys to success are for you in building that type of sustainability where you can do this continuously at least that bare level of what you want to see out of your artistry?
Network. Okay. The networking is a very, it's more than what people make of it. People don't really think that networking is something, but when it comes to this industry, networking is a lot because it ain't about what you know. It's about who you know. You can have the talent all day, but you might meet that right person that can get you further, you know, to where you want to be. So it may not be what you know, it may be who you know. So networking is very, very important in this industry. And that's how I met Monster Yo, by networking. You feel me? That's how I've been meeting a lot of great artists, a lot of great managers and other people who have podcasts, y'all, by networking. So networking is a priority when it comes to being an artist and to keep seeing yourself develop and grow, I would say network. Do your music, of course, but that shouldn't be the only thing you're doing when you're an artist. That's just a part of being an artist. There's more levels to it. Networking, not just studio times, doing your videos, but also networking because that's going to open doors for you.
Yeah. So true, Dooney. What would you like to add to that? And that's either related to music, because you certainly have some individuals that are very much in the music world that you hold near and dear and are brothers to you, but just networking in general in your world and your experiences, Dooney. What would you like to add or ask or add some, with respect to insights in addition to what Lady Too Much was saying right there?
Well, I mean, first of all, we all we got and we enough. You just
Mm,
got to talk to each other and communicate, right? They say closed mouth don't get fed. I think that was lost, right? And what the meaning of that really means, right?
period.
If I speak to you, I can speak to you and not even tell you my need, but you can hear my need through my conversation.
Period.
It's about I told you the same thing. I know a whole bunch, but it don't mean nothing if you don't know the right people, right? That'll
Exactly.
give you that, that's willing to give you that chance. Not everyone that has it is willing to give it to you, right?
Exactly.
That way, or whatever. But so yeah, networking is important, man. Just meeting people based on the genuine uh uh uh, uh self, genuine personality, and everything else blossoms from there, I believe, right? uh
Yes, it does.
they like you as a person, they willing to do anything for you, versus your first thing is what will you do for me, right? Nah, who are you? Who am I doing for, right? I think is the question. So networking is crucial to any relationship, business or otherwise, is very crucial.
Facts. Yes,
Indeed.
and let me tell you, when you networking too, don't be afraid to just say, you know what, we tried this. I don't think it's working out and keep pushing because there's going to be people you meet that's going to try to take advantage of you as an upcoming artist. Like, oh, he's an upcoming artist. Let me see how much I could charge him for this and charge him for that. But when you see, if you feel like that or if you see that happening, I would say, you got to cut that short and keep it pushing. Don't let that stop you from wanting to meet other people out here because there are genuine people out here that still want to see you succeed and vice versa. You can help them in some aspect as well, so keep going, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
that's very true. And I think with that too, people, y'all have to understand, whether it's artistry or any other professional endeavor that you find yourself in or you aspire to be in, that comes with what Dooney and Lady Too Much just said, a certain level of respect.
Hmm.
And not just that human respect, because I mean, listen, that should go without saying for some, but sadly, stuff like that these days has to be said out loud for some, and that's just the unfortunate truth that we find ourselves in, right? But I also mean it from the standpoint of the respect of the knowledge that you don't have,
Hmm.
because there is a certain, like, I don't know everything in this world. I don't. I never will. There's so much information
So much to
in
learn.
this world. But like
Mhm.
you were talking about earlier, Lady Too Much, and Junie, with respect to networking, if you surround yourself with the right people, the right, sticking with, talking about artistry, since we're on that level right now, the right manager, the right uh, camera or photo person, the right social media person. If you're not necessarily running your own social media, you have to understand, no different than you were talking about earlier, Lady Too Much, about, man, the doctor's going to be talking to me on that, level where I need to understand some shit. Well, why? Because they're the doctor. They went to 7, 8, 9 extra years after four
Exactly.
years of college. They
Exactly.
have gained that knowledge. And unless you have that same
To
knowledge,
learn some
and again,
jargon.
Exactly. Right. It's the same thing. Like, listen, to somebody. I mean, we had, Dooney, the last show that we had before you joined us last weekend. We had my brother Van from out in Colorado on the show, and he used to be in a band called Novus Folium. And they had a good run, man. They opened up for like Guns N' Roses and Korn, and like they were doing the thing, right? And he said the thing that really turned for them as a catalyst to jump off to those opportunities that they then later got was they went to record one of their first songs together as a band, and they were working with a producer who said, it's good, but it's not good enough for what your goal is, right? And this producer had a lot more knowledge and experience than this band of young early 20 something year old dudes did. So they got humbled by this person who had a lot more knowledge, but they understood the respect level that came with this individual's experience and knowledge and what this individual was trying to communicate to them. Yo, yeah, your stuff is good, but if you're trying to go here, it needs to be better. Here is why, and here's how we do it. And they listened, and that was life changing for them as well. So, my 2 cents is just listen to people who know some more shit than you, or even if you think you know more than them, still it's the 80-20 rule. You speak 20% of the time, you listen 80% of the time. That's how you learn. That's how you level up in anything that you do. Am I off base there? Y'all can chop me down there if you want. You can add anything to it. What have been both of your experiences?
I'm just
With
gonna
that
say,
lady too
bro,
much. Go ahead, Dooney. Let go real quick, and
I
then we're
only
gonna shoot
got
it right over to Lady Too Much.
when you stop learning, you're dead. Go ahead, lady. Too much.
Same. To me, I feel like you can learn. You can even learn from kids and people
Mm-hmm.
who don't believe it. Prove me wrong. You can even learn from children. Okay, so like he said, like the day that you stop learning is the day that you're no longer breathing because it's a lot in this world that we don't know. When you go to college and once you're done with your general ed, you have to pick a lane to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pick a degree to study. They're not going to teach you about every degree because you're going to be in college for the rest of your life. No, you have to pick a degree to study. Why? Because it's too much information out here for you to just learn, okay, for 1 year or 2 years or 4 years. No, you're going to be learning for the rest of your life. There's a lot to learn still. Keep your ears open, okay?
No, it's very important. And you said something very important as well about we can learn from children. A lot of adults these days, man, they just shoot a kid down. But we have to remember that the brain is developing
Mm-hmm.
very rapidly at that age. So exactly what you both just said, and specifically yourself, Lady Too Much, like open up that brain, open up your ears, because if you are paying attention, you could learn. I mean, there's a saying out there, you can learn a lot from a dummy, yes, but you could learn a ton more from a kid and you don't even know it.
Yes,
Bro,
yes.
we were kids, and we were saying these damn adults is not listening, right?
Are they listening now? Huh?
Right? Like, oh
It's so
wow.
true because it's a cyclical cycle, and there's a reel out there right now with KRS-One sitting down, and he's talking about exactly this, and it goes both ways, right? The elders have to listen to the youngins because the young kings and queens in the world today are experiencing something that somebody of my age or any of our ages right now that is not that age, especially when it comes to technology and
I was about to
uh,
say that, yeah, especially when it comes to technology. Like, even just to work a phone, you have to teach a lot of the older people how to do it.
you do, and it is vice versa, because for the young kings and queens out here and those that were trying to be the conduits too, um, they can learn a lot from the experiences that we are at and have experienced in each of our individual lives. That if they're not taking that in, or excuse me, let me put it this way: if you've got young kings and queens that are listening to people that are, considered the elders of some sort, well, you're naturally gonna know more than someone that would be your age or experience level that otherwise wouldn't have those resources of elders to be able to get information or experience from. So,
Right.
like we always say in general and in the world, communication is a two-way street. And I don't care what your age is or what your background is or what your profession is or your level of education is. Communication is very important to anybody's growth. It's just really a matter of what type of growth and elevation are you trying to experience. So you just got to listen, people. You just got to have a human conversation with people and just be willing to learn.
You just gotta
Yeah.
remember
Well,
that kids got
listen,
feelings too.
Mm,
learn, take advice, and implement that advice. Don't just take notes. Implement that advice. Use them notes. Put them to work. Because if you just put it on a piece of paper, what are you really doing?
Mhm.
very, 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 very true. Very true. Energy level. I love your frequency, Lady Too Much. I love, anytime I come across you on social media, and it very much translates to this conversation that we're having tonight. Man, the beautiful energy that you just exert, even coming
Thank
through a
you.
screen
Thank
is,
you.
you
You.
know, you're very welcome because it's true. I could only imagine what it's like in person, honestly, because obviously it only comes through, through so much through a screen. It gets, of course, elevated when you're in person. So how do people receive
Yes.
you? People that are maybe, whether they're people and certainly most especially people that you might be meeting for the first time, how is your energy level received by others around you?
People I know think I'm crazy. Okay, we ain't gonna talk about them. Okay. I had to. Okay, listen. I would walk around me mugging, like face on go. Okay, and not even realizing how that I looked like that. Like, but every time I walked into the grocery store, it's crazy because people would just walk past me and be like, "Smile," and it would be the older people, and they'd be like, "Smile," and I'm like, what you mean smile? Like, I'm not smiling? Like, no, my face was looking deadly. Like, I was ready to tear some shit up. So the more I heard it, it's like, you know what? Let me practice that. Let me work on that, because if they're saying it, I feel like they're saying it for a reason. They're not just saying it for no reason. So I started to work on, like I told you earlier, smiling more and really, meeting people because of that energy and that vibe. But yeah, people I know think I'm crazy. Okay, they think I'm crazy. Okay, but I've been meeting a lot of new people, and then the people I know, they know we go out. You going out with Lady Too Much? Yeah, you're gonna have a good time. Period. You're gonna have a great night. Yeah, we vibing, liquor on liquor. Okay, how we get home last night? I don't know. Yeah, but we made it. That's all that matters. You feel me? We be turned and lit, and if you ain't coming out for that, don't come. I don't even want to see you. I don't want to think about you. Stay home.
Man, I love that response. And you know what? We all gotta be a little crazy, and sometimes we gotta tap into it for different kinds of reasons. And there's nothing wrong with that because we are emotional human beings. At the end of the day, if you allow yourself to be right, don't be numb to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Have some kind of emotion going out there. But speaking of emotion, again, I think anybody that's tapped into the show long enough or has seen at least enough, we're only about realness here on the outside, and that's one thing that I appreciate about your artistry, because a lot of your art and your music in your art is it comes as an outlet for you. So talk to us about that. How do you get power through allowing your art and your music to be an outlet of emotions for you? Because we certainly talked about what the messaging is already, if somebody's asking and meeting you for the first time and meeting you as an artist specifically for the first time. But talk to us about how you feel that being able to share your emotions as or your music as an outlet for your emotions. What does that do for you as a human and as an artist?
As a human, everyone needs an outlet. You need to find that outlet, whatever works for you or whatever you feel that you love to do, that will be an outlet for you. You need that and implement it. As an artist, it wasn't easy and it's still not easy to this day, but I'm still learning to put my emotions into my music. I want to touch more people out here that are going through things. I love being able to talk about the hustle because a lot of people love that coming from a woman, and a lot of women love that too. Like, yeah, bag talk. Just talking about bags, yeah. So, but I want to really put my emotions into it more, which is what I'm working on, like with some future projects, because I really want to touch others in a way that will be like a life changing experience for them. To, so I want them to be able to say, yeah, this song got me through some dark times. This song got me through some things. So that's where I'm going with it as far as it being an outlet. But I had to dig into my just into my soul to get it out, like, because I'm not used to talking about my feelings and emotions to others, expressing myself and letting others know what's going on. So that's where the challenge comes in, but I'm breaking down that barrier because I already have a couple songs letting y'all know, what Lady Too Much has been through, and there's more to come, so stay tuned.
Well, we are
That's
very
dope. Dope.
we're looking forward to that, and Dooney, you and I talk about that sometimes as well. We talked about it recently as well. The vulnerability of emotions, through music as well. Um, and what are your thoughts on vulnerability of emotions, Dooney, and how what is meant to you in your life experiences? As Lady Too Much had put it out there, maybe any insights that you can offer to her with your wisdom as she's on that path, a different path. Because again, here's the thing, people. There's so many different paths to elevation because there's so many layers to us as human beings, and I think it's a perfect time to talk about that because Lady Too Much very much just let us know that she's on that level of elevation through her music and being I'll just use it as the word vulnerable because that's what it is when you're letting emotions out or letting people into you in a way that you maybe haven't been comfortable with in the past. Right, Dooney, what are any insights that you might be able to offer her as she's now intensely on that journey of experiencing that?
Well, when society made it men hyper masculine, they also made our women masculine. So
Mhm.
although we try to touch upon those emotions, it's hard to tap into exactly what I'm feeling because we all taught to tap into that anger or
Mhm.
rage. You know what I mean? Or just be numb. I
Mhm.
can't tell you that I feel disrespected. I feel belittled. So my game for Lady Too Much is it's called emotional intelligence, right? Give
Yes.
them the vocabulary to express what they feel,
Period.
right? So talk about being vulnerable. Talk about what it being belittled. Give them the vocabulary
The
and that
verbiage. Yeah.
music to go back to say, this how I feel. I don't have to punch you in your eye. I feel you let me down. I feel disappointed. I feel less than, right? Because that's when you get your power back, right? When you're able to express what you feel. When you're not able to express it, you feel we'll take it this way
Mm.
Yeah.
or we'll numb it, right?
Yeah.
Um, Create
Wait for
that
that.
emotional vocabulary for them. Get them
Yo,
the words.
Big
yo, that's
thank
one of them. It
you.
could be. It could be. But because to the point that Dooney made, and I'm literally going through that right now. And Dooney, you and I have touched on it a little bit. I am working on doing exactly that. I'm taking I have intently taken my power back from somebody who called themselves my brother for a very, very, very long time, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I had to take a step back from this individual, because the energy just wasn't right. It just wasn't right, like straight up.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and I told this individual that, told him, I communicated to him in a very, like, I could literally read the text messages to you right now. But the long and short of the context of the message to him was, because I didn't block him from my life, right? Like, I just knew things were off, so I restricted him from my social media, not because I had anything towards him, but there was an energy and frequency coming through that anytime I saw his name, because of the way that he was moving, it just put a feeling in my stomach. And so it's a choice that I made because I control my self care, right?
Mm-hmm.
Told this individual that, because he hit me up the very, very next day, saying, I see you don't fuck with your boy no more. And he was saying verbally from California, this is what he was doing verbally with me. And I was like, man, bro, like, I literally just told you I'm trying to get my mental right. I'm going through some shit right now that I can't take any more negative energy right now. So I'm choosing to put myself in a better place to block any bad energy like that. And this dude basically told me to go fuck myself. And I'm like, well, cool, whatever, man. I feel sorry that you're feeling that way. I was like, bro, it's nothing personal. I'm just trying to pour some self love to me in a way that I have not in a long time, and I need you right now with any relationship, let alone this one right now. And he's like, okay, cool, peace, do what you got to do. I'm here. But again, I didn't block him because you had a direct line to me. And instead of calling me and saying, yo, what's good, man? Is everything all right? This dude chose to verbally attack me, right? So a couple months goes by. I have a conversation with a mutual friend, and he's like, "Yo, bro, what's going on, man?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, whatever's going on, is respectfully between me and my brother, right? Like, yes." And I told him, I was like, "Yo, that dude is my brother. If he called me up right now, or somebody called me up, I was like, yo, homeboy's going through this, bro, I would be there in a heartbeat, because that don't change." And I told him as much as well, right? And so he's like, well, maybe one day that you have a call. And of course, that call that I had with our mutual friend, of course, subconsciously got in my head. A week later, I hit my brother up. I'm like, yo, man, I hope the family's well. I hope you're good. Sincerely, man, I'm in a little bit of a better headspace where, I can sift through some shit with you right now. Let's have a conversation. Wish you blessings, nothing but the best. Hey, man, fuck your blessings. Whoa, bro. Whoa. And then, like, I couldn't even get a word out. It was, and this was still through text messaging. I just got out of the shower. I couldn't answer the phone. I'm like, yo, bro, just getting out of the shower. Let me go. Nah, motherfucker, if you want to fucking talk to me, you pick up the motherfucking phone right now. Bro, like, what is wrong with you? And then it was just voice message after voice message after voice message. I was like, yo, man, I'm good. Like, if this is how it's gonna be, and then it just kept going. So then naturally, at that point, I had to block him from my phone, because I have a choice if I'm gonna continue to let that shit into my world or not. And I chose no, man. And until you can get yourself right, I cannot have a conversation with you, because you're not trying to have a conversation with me. You're just trying to fucking yell at me and make me hear you. That's not how communication works, especially through brothers and family, right? So, and this dude, he's a rapper too. I've known him for 25 years. And through other means of man, this dude started like creating like dummy
Right?
accounts and following
Come
me on
on
like
back,
other
baby.
shit,
Come on back. I see
bro.
he got my boy.
So
Come on back, baby.
so like, bro, so I was gonna leave it alone, because I know exactly how his mind works. I know because I'm doing this 100 track golden era salute challenge, right? And I did a track that I didn't mention anybody by name. I was talking to a whole grip of people from the past that are no longer here with me in my present, and nor will they be with me in my future, right? This dude thought I was sneak dissing him. Bro, like, if you even thought that, again, pick up the phone and have a conversation with me, right? So I was gonna leave it alone, and I was gonna leave it there. But then it kept happening. It kept, and I was like, man, fuck, I was still gonna leave it.
Hey, we
And
gonna hey,
then
Mike,
go ahead. What's up?
we gonna give him his show.
Oh,
We
oh,
gonna give
oh,
him his show. He's stealing
oh,
lady too much. You feel me?
um, but the point is, I was going to leave it alone, and this is relevant, and I'm gonna because this is relevant to the emotional growth that we're talking about here, and that's the only reason I'm
Yes.
sharing this.
Okay. So, what was the outcome? Like, did he finally
Right.
just stop hitting you up, or
He kept
did
he
you
kept
have to
going.
squabble him down real quick?
I just left it alone. I wasn't gonna do anything. Then I talked to Monster Yo for like an hour, and I let him know what's going on. He's like, "Yo, bro," he's like, "Whatever you want to do, do it." And then I woke up the next morning. And I at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I wrote 7 tracks.
Period.
And they are fact tracks. I don't do diss tracks. I don't do diss tracks. I do fact tracks if I'm gonna have to come at somebody like that. And that's the only way that he's gonna hear me because he doesn't want to have a converse. So now I got to talk to him. So the point of me being on my soapbox there in this emotional intelligence, you do what the universe is telling you to do and what your gut is telling you to do and your heart is telling you to do in any given moment that you find yourself in, even in maybe the darkest of times. You do what you got to do because it's your emotional intelligence, like Dooney was saying earlier. It's your elevation of growth for your mind and your heart as an individual.
Yeah.
And now I will get off my soapbox.
Mm.
Okay, so I went through that just recently. Like, it was somebody just like the Big Mama song came because the person was just poking and poking and poking. I literally did nothing from the jump,
Mm-hmm.
poking and poking and poking to the point where finally they did a whole podcast about me for 40 minutes. It was all about Lady Too Much, and I said, you know what? They want me to respond so bad. Let me give them this track. Let me give them what you call it? What you call it, Mikey?
A
The
fact track.
fact
A
track.
fact
The
track.
the fact track. Let me give them this one, this right here, because I know ain't no coming back from this. Now you're gonna have to stop talking, and I ain't heard nothing since. Period.
And
What they talk
that's
about? Oh,
what
nothing.
it is.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Right, right.
Because I don't diss people, man. But man, I'll call you out on the motherfucking rug if you're gonna want to go there. And the only way you can do that is factually. Like, it is. It is. But let's get back to elevated music. What you got going in the pipeline right now that you want to share with us? Definitely make sure let the people outside watching whether they've been privileged, given us the privilege in us, privileged enough to be joining us live in this conversation, or they're going to see it after the fact because this conversation is going to live permanently on our YouTube channel, the We Outside Live podcast. What could we expect coming from you in the maybe near future, Miss Lady Too Much?
Okay, y'all. So for those who have heard my first EP, Cut Deep, if you paid attention, not just to the bars, because I know they heavy, but it was just me on my EP. It was me, literally, no features, nobody else, no nothing, and that was intentional. Okay, I wanted to make a statement, and now I also want to make a statement, but I am doing it a little differently. So I have a lot of dope collaborations that I'm working on. I'm even moving into different genres with it.
Ooh,
So get ready for me to drop some R&B, maybe even some pop, some more other things. So just be ready. Like, I'm coming in, like I said from the jump, I'm in different lanes with it. I don't stay in just one lane with it. So I'm coming. And when I
that's
come,
what
y'all know I'm coming hard. So be ready.
I like that. And where can people find you if they want to follow you anywhere? And certainly when it comes to your music, where can they find all of your music that's already out there waiting for them?
Okay, y'all know. Make sure y'all follow Lady Too Much the same way it's written on the screen. Lady, the number Too Much, no spaces in between on all music platforms. The keyword is no space keywords, no spaces in between. Do not put spaces. Spell it just like it is right there. Yeah, right there. And then follow me on Instagram and TikTok, lady underscore the number 2 underscore much. _official. Follow me on Facebook, Lady TWO Much, no spaces in between, and Twitter, Lady Too Much.
I
Follow
love
me,
it.
y'all. Just follow me, okay?
Yep, I'm dropping that in the Instagram right now as we speak. I'll make sure it gets into the comments after the show is done as well. And of course, Lady Too Much, we are going to come back to you for the final words of the show. But before we do, my brother Dooney, any final thoughts that you want to share with Lady Too Much? Any insights, anything about anything before we let her ride the show out for us tonight?
As I tell other artists, you are um, a prophet, so your words are important.
Yes.
You move people with your words, so stay
Yeah,
impeccable with your word and teach.
indeed.
I
Teach
love
them how to heal, how to express how they feel. Because that is a healing in itself.
Yes.
It'll save a lot of lives, save a lot of hurt. Stay on your mission. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was an honor to do this interview with you. Stay doing what you're doing. Stay on that path.
Thank
Stay that
y'all.
example, right? Stay that example
it.
for sure.
So true. And then
Thank
I'll just add to
you.
that, and then we're gonna let you close your show out, Lady Too Much. I was already a fan of you from getting to interact with you as I have, in the last couple of months on social media or getting to know about you through different platforms and your music and whatnot. But I'm even a bigger fan now, getting to know the human side of you because that's what we're about on the We Outside Live
Yeah.
cast. I mean, yes, we definitely need to talk about your music and how that translates, no different than any other artist creative that we ever had on here. But that's what we are when we're outside. We want to know who you are, not just as the artist, but as the human being as well. And, getting to have this conversation with you is very much on brand from how I already knew you and have come to know you to this point. So thank you for being one of the real ones out here because there's not a lot of real people out here these days. I truly consider your people like yourself the real one percenters of the world, not these rich motherfuckers out here, because I got a different definition of rich, and that's being real. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you having this conversation, like Dooney said, with us and trusting us to have this conversation with us tonight. That means a lot to us, sincerely, because there's a lot of people that come out and have interviews and they got an agenda. And our only agenda is to have a real conversation that is authentically built with not one motherfucking question scripted out this bitch. So thank you. I appreciate you. On behalf of everybody watching, I know they appreciate you as well. So with that said, you go ahead and you close out the show with anything that you want to say, how you want to say it, anyone you want to big up out there tonight. You close out the show, and then we're going to close the door on everybody outside here.
Okay, I got something to say for you who was talking about me. No, just play. I want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Oh my goodness. This has been a good interview. You guys are so genuine, really just caring. I could tell in the conversation that it was like, it wasn't fake or phony. You wasn't just doing this for your podcast. You really get to know, the people you bring on. So that means something. And I want to thank y'all for
Thank
having me. Shout out to, I want to always shout out to my supporters too. Shout y'all out, shout y'all out, shout y'all out. Because what people don't realize is that without y'all playing their music, showing up to their concerts, and doing what you do, they wouldn't be who they are. So, okay, so yeah, remind them every time. You feel me? Shout out to
Right.
y'all supporting. I appreciate
you.
everything. You feel me? And I appreciate you guys. And of course, I have to say free Master Yo until it's
Mm,
backwards. You heard? Free Master Yo, Master Yo Management, Skrilla Gorilla West. Shout out to my brother Cedric Carter. And stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. I'm about to be in all genres. All of them.
we're looking forward to that.
Country, step in them
Right.
boots, bring
Mm,
y'all
Huh.
mm.
fans.
We are
All
looking
of it.
forward to it.
Pop,
We're looking forward to
R&B.
it.
Yes, and
We wear boots
about to be
first.
the female Rod Wave, that emotional rapper out here. You feel me?
True story. Well, we appreciate you right back, Lady Too Much. We're here for it. We are fans. We're going to continue to be fans, and we're definitely looking forward
Thank
to
you
the new
guys.
music that y'all are going to be dropping on us. Like she said
Pleasure.
earlier, make sure you go follow Lady Too Much. Go spin her music. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday morning coming up. We got some dope special guests for Put the Guns Down. We outside lined up for you. That shit don't change. And then we got another We Outside Live special guest coming on Sunday. So thank you for tapping in. Dooney, I appreciate your time as well. Again, Lady Too Much, we are very grateful for your time that you spent out here with us tonight in the conversation. So with that
Okay,
said,
sir.
this
Follow,
was
subscribe to
Honor.
We Outside Live Cast.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Appreciate that,
Thank you
Quinn.
for that.
I'm gonna shut the door on the outsiders, but if y'all tapped in a little too late to the start of this live conversation, it will be up on YouTube here, probably not too long after this conversation.